Welcome to this industry briefing. Today, we're examining a major development in the South African energy sector, a strategic partnership between energy technology firm Plentify and global manufacturer Deye. Their objective is clear, and that is establishing Africa's largest residential virtual power plant. Let's look at the facts and see exactly how this shifts the landscape for distributed energy resources. Here is a brief look at our agenda for today. We'll touch on the changing market dynamics, the specifics of this new partnership, how the virtual power plant mechanics actually work, the scale and grid impact, and finally, the direct implications for commercial and industrial offtakers. Starting with Section 1, Changing Market Dynamics and the Stranded Asset Problem. To properly contextualize this, we have to look at South Africa's unique energy transition. Because this market was historically driven by extreme load shedding, it developed a very specific hardware footprint. The key data point here is that over 90% of solar systems in the country include batteries. That is a vastly higher proportion than you will find in almost any other global market. But that operational reality has recently shifted. With load shedding receding, we now have substantial distributed battery capacity just sitting idle for large portions of the day. For property owners and investors, this underutilized capacity is a structural inefficiency. It represents a significant lost return on investment.
Moving on to Section 2, the VPP partnership between Plentify and Deye.
This brings us to the recent announcement designed specifically to solve that idle capacity issue. Plentify has been appointed as the exclusive virtual power plant partner to Deye, which is a major global manufacturer of residential solar inverters and batteries. The explicit target here is to create the largest residential VPP in Africa. The foundation of this project is the massive existing hardware footprint. They'll be leveraging 160,000 Deye residential batteries that are already installed across South Africa. And this initiative is firmly grounded in established frameworks. As Colin Chang, the cloud director at Deye, pointed out, they've already deployed VPP programs in mature energy markets, specifically Australia and France. That prior deployment gives them the proven operational experience required to orchestrate distributed residential batteries at this kind of scale. That takes us to Section 3, VPP Mechanics Explained. Let's outline the technological framework enabling this aggregation. For commercial stakeholders evaluating this model, the definition of a virtual power plant is actually quite straightforward. It's a network of distributed energy resources that are digitally coordinated to operate as a single power plant. It effectively shifts your energy management from isolated individual units into a synchronized, grid-supporting network. The mechanics of this happen in 3 distinct steps. Step 1 involves networking the existing physical hardware. This means connecting those Deye residential batteries alongside Plentify's hotbot electric water heaters. Step 2 is the digital coordination of these resources, managed entirely via Plentify's intelligent software platform. Finally, Step 3 is dispatch. The aggregated capacity acts as a single, flexible asset that can be dispatched to support grid stability and help integrate renewable energy. Section 4, Scale and Grid Impact. Let's look at the objective scale of this network. To properly benchmark this project, we have to look at the numbers. Once those 160,000 existing batteries are coordinated, the aggregated resource will total approximately 2.7 gigawatt-hours of controllable capacity. To put that scale into perspective for you, that is almost twice the capacity of Eskom's 1.4 gigawatt-hour battery energy storage program. The strategic advantage of this approach lies in its timing and capital efficiency. Globally, VPPs are increasingly recognized as a highly cost-effective alternative to multi-year, multi-billion rand traditional grid infrastructure investments. This model rapidly unlocks value from assets that are already sitting there, completely bypassing those lengthy public infrastructure delays. Finally, Section 5, Implications for Offtakers. Let's examine the practical takeaways. For commercial and industrial offtakers, property companies, EPC contractors, and funders, the implications are highly practical. This partnership provides a direct mechanism to transform idle backup batteries into active, grid-supporting, yield-generating assets. It unlocks large-scale value quickly without the friction of new infrastructure delays. Ultimately, it combines Deye's global hardware scale with Plentify's localized utility and municipal market expertise to build a far more resilient, decentralized electricity system. As the South African market transitions away from purely defensive backup solutions, the parameters for energy investments are fundamentally changing. So, the key question to consider is, How will your organization adapt its energy investment strategy now that distributed assets can be reliably aggregated at utility scale? Thank you for joining this industry briefing.